Led by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for Riders Republic. It's the beta version. I managed to actually get like a key because I registered with Ubisoft and like I applied to get early access and I got picked. So I've been playing it and I've just got another email off them saying that it's been extended from the 23rd to the 25th. To the 28th, so I've got another 3 days of playing it, which is good because it's absolutely huge game. There's like loads to do, loads to collect. You never really get bored of anything. There's quite a few different categories. You've got your land vehicles, you've got snow vehicles, and you've got your air vehicles, or like races I should say. You've got like snowboarding, you've got skis, you've got like these other things that are sort of like skis but they're very short. They're like stunt skis. And you get different skins for them, you get different colours and upgrades. You're always getting rewards like this, unlocking new mountain bikes and stuff like that to use with slightly better stats. So there's plenty of content to keep you going, and then basically after you've done a bit of the tutorial you end up getting set loose on the big map, like this. And if you've ever played what is it, Steep, I think it's made by the same people or they're in conjunction with Ubisoft because Steep is Ubisoft or whatever, but you can actually pick in the button settings. You can have like steep controls as one of the settings. So they're obviously, in cahoots with the people who made Steep, or if not, they are the same people. Um, but it's basic. R2 is the pedal. You can change the buttons. I mean, I've had a right faff on. It's the only gripe I've had with this game so far, is that the buttons are a bit awkward, but you can map them and change them to a style that suits you. I've got to where R2 is pedal, I've got L1 as me boost, X is jump, and I've got my right stick to do my tricks. If you hold L2 it does your left set of tricks. If you do hold R2 and move your right stick, it's your left set of tricks. Like if you know what I mean, like if you stick, like you do a can to the left and you do a knack to the right, or vice versa. So you can choose what tricks you want to do as you're jumping off the jumps and stuff like that. But there is a lot of different routes. It's basically like Steep. It's just like on Steep it was a huge mountain, and then you could just go anywhere you wanted on that mountain, and it's the same premise here. Where you've got like a big mountain range, but like I said, there's canyons, there's grasslands, there's swamps, like rivers and stuff. It's like very varied. You're not just always on the snow, or on your mountain bike or whatever. It's got a huge, diverse terrain on the map, and like I said, the map is huge. It's absolutely gigantic. So you're always looking for these new lines, and you can find your way around the mountainside and pull tricks and stuff. You can even create your own events, so you can invite your friends and stuff. I think you can have up to 6 people, like 6 friends on the map at the same time. But I don't know how many people are actually on the big map altogether, because like I say, like when you see the footage of the map, I'll show you every single little white icon of a person that's moving on the map is supposedly somebody else who's playing online. But when you see how many people, I mean, it's quite unbelievable. I mean, I suppose it's real data, but it could always be fixed. But back to the game, I mean, it's easy. You can have it on auto landing or you can have it on manual landing. Auto landing, you just obviously you land with ease. But if you're manual landing, you've got to actually line up the board. into whatever like the surface is. So you've got to line it up. It's just like real life in that respect, where you've got to make sure your board's like facing the right way. Whereas I've got it on auto on this footage anyway, just to get used to it. Just trying to get used to the buttons. I'm doing the tutorial here, and it's teaching you how to do your tricks and stuff like that. But once you've been, like, it holds your hand. It's one of those games where it's constantly telling you what to do, and the only option you've got is to press X, and it takes you straight to another race, or it takes you straight to a different region or a different type of race. And you might want to say, right, I'm like, you're moving too fast, you're changing sports on us, and I want to just concentrate on my snowboarding or whatever. But it just walks you through it, and it shows you all the types of different modes. You play through every race type, and then after I think you've accumulated 11 stars, it then kicks you out onto the map and just lets you crack on yourself, and you can just like go at your own pace after that. But for the first 20 minutes or something, it's like you've got to do what it tells you, you can't do anything else, kind of thing, which isn't too bad. I mean, it gets you used to the game and stuff. This is a little bit of the creation. You can be a man or a woman. The options aren't huge. I mean, you don't get a lot of style, and it's a bit glitchy because it's the beta. Like, I wanted a white guy because I'm white, and I looked at the black, and then I pressed circle to come off, and my guy stayed black. So I had to go back on and go back at the, like, later on I go back into it and I change it back to white. But it's just little stuff like that, but that's only because it's a beta version. It says at the top, like, it's not it's work in progress, like it's not a finished article. But as the gameplay goes, like I said, there's loads to collect. The map is absolutely huge. There's a good variety of vehicles and race modes that you can do. Plus, it's that thing where you just tap down on your directions and you'll like go on foot from being on a bike or whatever. So you can traverse the terrain, and like, unfortunately you can't climb, but you can like walk up really steep hills. He like crawls up on all fours, which is quite cool. So you can get to where you want to be if you see, but as you play, you unlock the jet wing thing. So you can just like take off like a superhero and just fly to wherever you need to be. If you're looking for like a waypoint or a race or something that you need, or something that you're trying to collect, you can always go and have a look at that. It's great. But like I said, there's loads of different types of races. This is a mass race, where if you've played Grand Theft Auto, it's basically like a transform race, where you know, like, you from BMXs, you'll go through a checkpoint, and then it takes you, like, you'll transform into a different type of race, and it goes on for quite a long time, actually, these mass races. And it's that element, like, they've taken all the decent elements from all other games. I think they've taken like the graphic style from a third-person shooter, you know, where you can see your guy, or you can change the view and go into first-person mode where you can just see the handlebars, but it's obviously a lot harder when you're racing. But they've taken it from, like, not so much Grand Theft, but that kind of thing where you can see your guy, he's a good 6 inches tall on the screen, you know, you can see clearly what's going on, you can customize your player, you can customize your bike, I don't know if you can customize your bike, actually, but you can customize your player and stuff like that. So you know what I mean, they've given the element of customization, which everybody loves. The graphics are decent. The like I said, your character looks good. The controls aren't the best, but they're sufficient for what you're trying to do. They do become a bit fiddly. Like you seen before in the earlier footage, I missed one of the checkpoints, and you can rewind time with R1. Like I said, you can change your buttons to whatever you want later, but I use R1, and it rewinds time. Everyone else is still racing. You just get a chance to like rewind and, you know, try that bit again, because you really are traveling at breakneck speeds, and sometimes you're on a snowboard or something, and you're flying through a forest, and you're like snaking in between trees. You barely have time to react. You're flying that fast, so if you crash, it is nice to be able to rewind time a bit just to a place where you were back in control, and then you can carry on. You do still lose time in the race. That's what I was saying. Like everybody else who's playing, because it's a live race. It's like Fall Guys. They've taken that chaos element from Fall Guys, where everybody's just into a bottleneck and everyone's trying to scramble to get to position and stuff like that. So there's like that excitement and that chaos of everybody racing at the same time. So they've taken that from Family Guy, from Fall Guys. They've got the graphics and the playability and the customization kind of from like a Grand Theft style game, not Grand Theft in particular, but that kind of genre. And then they've got steep kind of gameplay where it's an open world and you can just go to any checkpoint you want, and you can activate any race that you want, you know, in your own time. So that's good. And they've brought all the key elements from different games and they've brought them all together. There's like elements of Tony Hawk in there, like when you crash and you want to quickly respawn, you tap circle, and when you do, you hear like a sound effect of a record being scratched, the same as it did on Tony Hawk. So little touches like that where you feel like you're playing like an arcade style. It's like X Games, really. There's lots of different styles. I think there's something there for everyone. If you don't like the rocket wings, because like they're hard, the rocket wings, they're easy to control. But some of the courses are really hard, they're very tight, so you've got to be good with your controlling. The skiing and the snowboarding I really enjoy because it's good for doing tricks and for racing. Like I said, this is just the tutorial at the beginning. It's literally showing you the buttons. And I'm playing on default buttons at this point. I hadn't changed any of the buttons, so X or triangle, if you hold that and move your stick, you'll flip forwards or backwards. If you hold square or circle while you move your stick, then you move left and right. So you can change that so you move in the air with your left stick or your right stick or whatever, your directions. It's up to you what you want to use. But I was just doing what it told us on the screen really at this point. But it's very fun. That's what this game has in buckets. It's got loads of fun, loads of replayability. Like I said, you can invite up to 6 people, 6 of your friends, like onto the same map, so you can all join. And what's good is if one of your friends activates a race and you're all on the same map, then it automatically invites you, so you don't even necessarily have to accept the invite like you do on Grand Theft, and you have to press yes on your mobile phone, and then it takes you to the lobby, and then, you know, all that bullshit. It's just basically counts down from 5 seconds, and then no matter where you are on the map, whoever activated the race, everybody will join. You do get a chance to cancel if you don't want to join, because that could become annoying if people are just activating races and you're trying to like collect something or get yourself somewhere. So that's good. This is a part in the game where I've finally done what it's been telling us to do, and it's after this cutscene they let you loose. This is like the main hub. I forgot what it's called now. Ridge Camp or something like that, and this is where you get a chance to impress some of the professionals. They give you challenges and stuff like that, which give you special prizes and special items of clothing and stuff. Or you can just go to the shop and buy different clothes and outfits for yourself. There's some crazy outfits, like really is crazy. Again, taking elements from Fall Guys and stuff like that, customization. And then there's other things where you can do Trick Academy, where you learn how to do your tricks, or you do challenges based on point scoring and stuff like that. So, like I said, there's absolutely loads to do. They've not left you, and I've got a feeling this is like what's called a live game, where they're just going to keep adding DLCs and putting patches and stuff and just making it bigger and better all the time, like they do with Grand Theft, where they just keep adding DLCs and they just keep adding stuff onto an already existing game. But there's customization, there's great variation of vehicles and race modes. There's great fun, and it's hard, but yet it's doable, so it's addictive, you know, so you want to keep playing. It's like Fall Guys, you know, it's so simple yet very addictive. So I think if you like it, I would definitely keep your ear open, because it's coming out in November, I think. So I would definitely try and pre-order it now if you've got the chance. I think it's going to be full price. I think it's like $49.99 or maybe $59.99, with it being a PS5 like version as well. I think this isn't PS5, this is PS4, but I'm saying it will come out for the PS5. It's one of those games I think where it's like on both platforms at the moment, so I think they're charging $59.99, but I'm not really sure on that. So it is a really good game. I mean, I've only played it for like 2 days now because I was a day late to noticing that I had sent an email, so I didn't play it until Tuesday when it came out on Monday. So I missed a day of it, but I've been hammering on it all day today, and I hammered it all day yesterday. So I think I've collected 91 stars or something altogether. I've been around, I've collected most things that I can, you know, things that are available to me, little landmarks and stuff. I've went around and collected as much as I can. But I'm not, you know, like there's so much to do still. I haven't even scratched the surface of what there is to do. Like you see there, what I was talking about, like you can just go off track for a second and then you go flying off. So I had to rewind time, and then I've lost a few places. I'm in last place now when I was coming second or something like that. I think it would be better if you could just respawn, because you're not really saving any time by rewinding time. If anything, it costs time. So it would be better off if you just died, and you can, I mean the options there, you just mash circle, like just keep tapping circle and you respawn quick, and you just continue from exactly where you crashed. But it's I suppose if you've missed a checkpoint or something like that, you have to be able to go through the checkpoint in order to continue. So sometimes if you miss the checkpoint, it can really cost you. I think you can just restart races, you know, like anytime you want. But I'm not sure if you're playing against the AI or if it's just because it's the beta. I was playing against the AI a lot. But there is a lot of times, because it's cross-platform play as well, so there's a lot of times you're just in a map full of people, and every person you race is like a real person. I think it just fills in the gaps with AI bots, and they race competitively as well, they're not totally shit. But it's all about just getting used to it, getting used to the buttons. Like I said, map out the buttons to your preferred playstyle, and then you'll find it a lot easier, because I don't think the default buttons are very good. They're a bit fiddly if you're not used to it. But I suppose if you learn them from the beginning, then they'll become familiar the more you play. But when you've played a lot of similar games, then there's already like trick systems with the right stick and stuff already set up on other games which I've played a lot, like Tony Hawk's and stuff, which I'm used to. So I've got like muscle memory, so when you come off a jump, you've literally got 2 or 3 seconds to do, like put your button inputs in to pull the move off. And then a lot of the time I'm panicking or I'm pressing the wrong button because I don't know, you know, like it's a new button system. So under pressure I end up pressing the wrong thing. But you can tailor the buttons, so you know that shouldn't be a problem. But the graphics are good. Like I can only praise this game. I really like it. I'm pleasantly surprised, because when I first seen it advertised, I thought I can see what they're doing. I just hope they pull it off, and they have pulled it off. And plus they've done like a few extra things which have made the game better. So anyone who plays it, you're like, oh yes, oh get it, oh I can't believe this, oh yes, and like there's a lot of those moments, especially when you're doing like a backflip onto a grind, and then you backflip off the grind and you pull it all off, you feel amazing. But it gets frustrating. It's a lot like Fall Guys. You could be winning and somebody will jump and hit into you, and then it knocks you off course, and then you end up coming in 7th when you've been leading the race for like 3/4 of the whole thing. You've been leading the race like that. You see how I missed that checkpoint just because after that spin I didn't pull left enough. So you rewind time back, but look, it puts you even further back than I want it to be. So now I've lost some positions in the race. It's that kind of thing which annoys me when you're racing competitively anyway. So if you like the look of it, go and get it because it's coming out in November, I think, and I think it's going to be huge. Actually, there'll be a big community following on it. So that's it, really. So yeah.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.